else. Bill Gates was in an interview and he made a bold statement that in the next 10 years, AI is going to replace doctors, teachers, and basically humans won't be needed for basically most stuff. AI will be able to do pretty much everything. Which, when I get to my next point, I'm going to talk about why we don't need more of this. We don't need more of the hype around AI can do everything people can do. AI is going to be able to do any job that any person can do. There's not going to be a need for people. It really scares people a lot. And it's foolishness, to be completely honest. I get where Bill Gates is coming from. He's been saying this since 2017. So this isn't new either. He came out with the latest update on it. But he's been saying for a long time, and for good reason. The man is, like him or hate him, he's a brilliant guy. He understands technology. He's very much someone I would love someday to just have a long afternoon with and talk about things with, because I think he sees things in a way that many people just don't. But what I don't think he always recognizes, and this was my frustration with this, is when you sit in the Crystal Palace for too long, or when you have this kind of thinking and you don't surround yourself by people who don't have that same kind of thinking or don't have that same, you begin to lose touch with reality. And so as I read the interview and read more about this, I went, I don't think he's technically wrong that in the next 10 years we will, I don't think it's going to take 10 years, to be honest with you. That's where I'd probably even be more aggressive with him, that in less than 10 years, AI will be able to do much of what humans are doing today. I agree with that, which that can be scary. And I understand when people hear that, sometimes they go, that makes me really uncomfortable. And I understand why. And in some ways, I would say it should, because we are going to need to adapt and change and shift. However, here's the part that I hope brings some peace and calm to folks, that I actually would, I don't know if Bill would agree with me or not. And this is where I'd love to have a long coffee chat and really press him on this. I think Bill has been disconnected from the work for too long. And he forgets how work actually gets done and the people that are involved with this. And I think, quite frankly, because in the interview, you basically said, like, you'll be able to go do all this and not even have to interact with a person. I would even challenge this idea of, let's say hypothetically that's true. Would you want that as your only option? If you could go to the doctor and the only option for you was an AI robot that checked you in, you got ushered into the back, some machine took a bunch of vitals and then spit out your results and then sent you home. Maybe there'd be times that would be convenient, but would you really want that to be all that was available to you? If you got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, would you want to just be treated like a number? Even something simple, going to get your hair cut. Would you really just want to go and have a robot, I mean, mine would be easy, but even for me, like as simple as this is, I can't say that I would just want some machine coldly checking me through a line and then shaving my head and then automating the deduction out of my checking account, and everything just becomes a transaction. And I think that gets missed. So first of all, one, I think we miss the value we get out of human experience. And so do I think we're going to see augmentation to it? Yes. Do I think we're going to see speedy checkout lanes for like a lot of stuff that before we just didn't even have the option? Like, you might have been able to do it at the grocery store. Now you might be able to do it at the hospital, which, I mean, who wouldn't go, hey, look, I just brought my kid to the ER. I just need to make sure they don't have pneumonia. Bzz, bzz, in and out, you're fine. You got your bill of health and a prescription for antibiotics and what, I mean, yeah, that might be nice. But if you're going through a serious thing, do you really want to just be like treated like a machine, in and out, quick? And I can tell you, anybody who goes, yes, I think everybody will. I'll tell you right now, the data says otherwise. And I know because I've worked with big retail firms who thought, we're going to move to the automation lane. All people want is audit. We're just going to keep improving automated checkouts. And guess what? It bumped up against human experience. And they discovered certain customers came to the store for the experience, for the chance. It was a social experience for them to engage with their customer service agents, to sit in line with people, to engage with the person checking them out. They realized that if they just stripped out all of the human experience and it was nothing but robotic, people didn't like it. They didn't want it. As much as we say, I just want to get in and get out, we don't. And when it becomes shallow and hollow, we suddenly start to feel like something's missing. And we suddenly start, and I think we're going to go through this. I think we're going to see lots of companies, and this is part of the work I'm doing, is to try and advise companies, don't make this mistake. So if you're a business leader listening to this, I'm telling you right now, do not make the mistake of over-indexing on creating a shallow, hollow, transactional experience for your customers or your employees because you think that's what they want. Even if they tell you that's what they want, that's not what they want. They might want the option of it. They might want the flexibility to choose that for certain things. And then sometimes that's not what they want. And they want to know that you're going to be there to actually support them and create an experience around it. Because, and don't believe me, go try it. And I'm promising you, you are going to come back to me and go, shoot, Christopher, you were right. And I've worked with enough companies who have made this mistake already to tell you confidently, Bill Gates is wrong. Bill Gates, even if we get to a point 7, 8, 10 years from now where AI and robots could literally do everything a human could do, we're not going to want it. Companies that go for it, people aren't going to buy it. They're going to be, it's going to create a new market for people who understand what people really want, what they really need. And I think if you're a company right now, you have a really unique opportunity right now to deeply understand what that is, deeply understand the work, and actually create a different kind of customer and an employee experience. And that's the other thing. Some of these companies that are like, great, we're just going to have bots do everything. They're destroying the employee experience, failing to recognize employee experience directly translates to customer experience. If you treat your employees like garbage, like they're a transaction, like they are a number, that's how your customers are going to feel. And I've done more than enough work to say that. And I'll sit at a table with a sign that says, change my mind. You won't, because I've seen the empirical data. I've been involved in things that show that this is just reality. And you can try and defy it all you want. You're going to get burned. You might make some short-term gains. You might go, haha, Christopher, we were able to do it. And then it's going to come back to bite you. And I will tell you right now, you are going to find it is going to cost you exponentially more in the long term to make this mistake. So for Bill Gates, in 10 years, might robots be able to do everything? Maybe. And I know I talk to people who are in trades and things like that, and they're like, no, it's never going to happen. And I'm like, you'd be surprised what humanoid robots are going to do. And do I think even tradespeople are going to have AI robots helping them get stuff and automate this and help them lift heavy loads? Like, good grief, if you're a contractor, wouldn't it be great if you just had like a little robot that came with you and held up drywall? Right? Like, and nobody on your team goes, you know what I love being? The drywall holder person. Like, that's my favorite job. So it's not inherently bad, but it is going to disrupt things. So my encouragement to you, if you're a employee or if you're somebody who hears this and freaks out, use this time now to figure out what are the things people really care about? What are the things that matter? How do I become more human? Because people are going to crave that. And yes, I think we are going to go through a time where we forget that, and it's going to help reveal how important that is. But to business leaders, I'm telling you, even if you could get AI to do everything that you think your company does, it won't. And I will also tell you right now, there is so much stuff people do not understand. I had a conversation this week with somebody where we were just talking about trying to schedule meetings and how, administrative people have been cast out, and it's like, oh, we can use Calendly. We can use this. We don't need people to do that work anymore. And then you start to realize how much work isn't automatable in this stuff, because it has to do with working with people, coordinating with people, connecting the dots between things, contextualizing, ooh, there's this factor I need to be. We don't think about this stuff. And people like Bill Gates have been so disconnected from it for so long they forget. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of peace of mind.